Coordinape, the project, to start?
So Coordinape is a platform that allows DAO contributors to incentivize and reward each other for the different contributions they make to the DAO. So it's kind of a decentralized way for people to thank each other and also to distribute resources.
Yeah, you guys start with really the DeFi, the Yearn, how it really comes from the need that you guys really have so many people contributing.
Right.
Is the concept of peer bonus exist before this project that you guys are really putting it on chain now?
I mean, at Yearn, so we developed Coordinape essentially because there were a lot of people doing a lot of things, right? Whether it was moderating Discord or translating documents, writing code, etc. And there was this committee basically that would give grants. But some people would apply for grants when they didn't know how much they should be applying for.
Exactly.
Other people wouldn't even apply.
Right.
And the grants people were then left making this kind of apples and oranges comparison. And also, like, why are we the ones deciding this? Why is there a committee? So we really created it as a way to just ask the community and say, where have you seen value being created? And so let the community allocate value as they see it sort of in real time being created.
So it's also a little bit more of the like peer bonus, making sure that helping each other to grow, but also in some way retroactively helping everyone contribute in the right way, right? So compared to like Keepers, which is more like bounties way, do you guys like really see different models of like doing the compensation but also growing as a DAO?
Yeah, I mean we've really tried to frame what we're doing at Coordinape as being about like gratitude and saying thanks. So even though it's a really useful way to compensate each other, we really frame it more as like it's a way to thank people for their contributions and what they've done. And it also happens to, translate to actual resources, tokens, or what have you. We're certainly thinking about on the roadmap, already there's been some protocols that are using it that have experimented with, can you proactively give to certain things that need to be done?
Exactly.
Right. So sort of like a bounty board.
Exactly.
But right now it's really more about after a period of time saying thanks for contributions that have already been made.
It really makes sense. So you already have like 30 projects really trying out, testing out. What are the like challenges when people need to move to instead of an HR department that do performance review, now it's really a peer system, giving thanks. For those 30 projects, what are the hard things that they learn?
Well, there's definitely a bit of a learning curve. It's a different sort of mindset and ways to engage. There is a little bit of, we're always trying to solve what we call like the silent genius problem.
Yeah,
right?
What is that? Yeah.
Well, if somebody is really head down working on code on a specific project, everyone might not realize how much value that they've been adding, right? And other people might be more vocal or more visible or making a lot of memes that everyone, it's really fun, and so they'll get more allocation potentially than this person who's kind of head down and not as known. But what we found is that with each epoch, that problem tends to diminish pretty greatly because people in the social layer will start to say, like, hey, we all forgot about this person, let's make sure we compensate them next time.
That's true.
And this is what's really cool is different protocols are able to adapt it in all sorts of different ways. So some people are experimenting with sort of a baseline of give that everyone has, and then it becomes more like a bonus system than a granting system. There's other people that are sort of creating like delegation potential. So it's like, hey, I don't know, I'm just going to give that person all my give. They seem to be really plugged in. And so there's lots of ways to adapt it to the specific context.
Really social experiments. But I like what you just said, right? It's not just about one epoch or one epoch.
Right.
But it's an infinite game, right? Just like how Ethereum put it, right? It's not just about one time game theory. It's about get to know, build up the reputation, but also retroactively knowing like what I can overcompensate.
Right, and it really also helps to create a culture in the DAO of gratitude and saying thanks and speaking up for other people. We hope that part of what it does is help to foster this culture of like, there's plenty to go around, and I don't have to worry about protecting myself. I just have to worry about saying thanks to everyone, and it'll all work out.
Well, you said about gratitude and really love many times. So let me ask you the hard question then. So even in traditional like team or HR, right, to give bonus and promotion is a really great way to give gratitude. But then the opposite is just as hard, right? What if someone, especially anonymous as well as no obligation, they start not contribute as much, or they don't like become a freeloaders? Have you guys like deal with problems like that?
I mean, actually, Coordinape is a really nice way to solve that issue. Is that because it's real-time feedback on value being delivered, and so someone can do a lot, for a few months, and then if they're not around and not doing as much, those resources can be allocated other places.
I see.
Right? And especially in this fluid DAO landscape, where I'm involved in 3 different DAOs to varying degrees of time. And it also serves for a really good hiring funnel, because instead of now hiring someone based on their past work and making some commitment for a certain amount of time and big upfront resource, you can say, come on in, start contributing. And we've certainly seen at several DAOs that it becomes the Coordinape circles can become like their most effective hiring funnel.
Absolutely.
Because essentially you see those people who show up and have creative ideas that they deliver on.
Yeah, so I think you understand the human coordination, but also the reward very well. So, but do you believe the whole even slashing system, right? Everyone talk about the sticking and the validators, like need to deal with the slashing penalty, right? To talk about the positive of peer bonus, but then the opposite is, would there be even rage kick some members out? It's one thing to like not give them bonus, right? But then they'll be asked for like minimal, like whether salary or like so that they can keep this to be full time.
Right.
Do you feel like that a peer bonus system or peer review system have to even deal with such a penalty system so that it can be effective?
Well, I think as we're thinking about the version 2, like the next iterations of Coordinape, it's going to have a lot more versatility in all these different kinds of compensation. Using that vouching mechanic, as well as not just one-time grants of resource or tokens, but actually access to streams of tokens. So it looks more like a salary. But you'll still have this ability to sort of, on a real-time basis, allocate to people. And so if somebody all of a sudden starts to consistently acting ways that aren't in integrity with the culture, it'll be very easy for people just to kind of say, I'm going to allocate elsewhere, because this is not adding value.
That makes
so
sense.
Instead of slashing them, it's more like you're just redirecting to other places, and they don't have access to the same tokens anymore.
So Harmony plan to launch 100 DAOs, right? Really using Coordinape to make sure that it can scale both on the toolings part, but also like all the compensation and peer bonus part, right? Would there be what would be a good advice for us to even plan ahead, to worry, to plan ahead?
I mean, from what we've seen, the sooner that DAOs are using Coordinape sort of at their formation, it really helps to shape the culture and the conversations. About how do we want to reward each other? What is valuable around here, right? In some ways, like the results of the Coordinape epic are valuable, but the conversations that come out of it are even more valuable, because it kind of creates that self-reflection mechanism
really
for the DAO.
The onboarding and the culture among of your like,
and you
like
look at the results and say, what matters to us? Like, this is what we say matters. Is this right? So having that shared display of everyone in the DAO looking and saying, are we on the right track? Are we incentivizing the things that we say we want to incentivize?
That's really true.
And so doing that early and creating that culture of putting up your hand, and saying like, hey, I should get more for whatever, or I got too much, like, I want to share more. The sooner that is, the more it inculcates it in the culture.
It's really true. So in a year, what do you wish the whole DAO space, if not even the future of work, through peer like rewards to be? Do you see a trend that not just about what Coordinape would be part of, that is really the future of work that many of us can be pushing to?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all see that DAOs are definitely the future of work. I mean, my hope for Coordinape is to play, very small part in helping us to deliver on the promise of DAOs, right? Because we see what the potential for global coordination at solving some of these wicked challenges that we're meeting, like right in the teeth of the Anthropocene.
It's actually
right?
the hardest challenge.
Right.
I actually tweeted out about it, like talking about like peer bonus, performance review. If not the whole HR part of working together, I would say even like negotiating about what would be the right compensation is what Coordinape can really solve in a much more open. Everyone can see the contribution. That would be really awesome.
Yeah, I hope that it helps forward the DAO ecosystem as a whole, because I think we need to get really good at DAOs in order to solve the bigger problems that we all have.
I think so. So my last question would be, how can Harmony be helpful with Coordinape?
I mean, honestly, like what you're doing and sort of introducing to DAOs as people start to form DAOs and want to understand them, helping with the education piece.
Yeah.
And also introducing them to Coordinape as one of the potential tools that they can use,
Absolutely.
both for compensation and to align a culture around thanking contributors and really making it more of a positive sum infinite game, as opposed to that sort of scarcity mindset of I got to get mine.
That's a great way to put it. Well, thank you for today.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.